This might be the best time for gaming.
Summer is around the corner, and we got a ton of video game announcements for 2026 and 2027. Some were a complete surprise, and some gave us new information. It was a week of non-stop news and release dates that, in my opinion, was one of the best overall reveals in a while. So I want to talk about some of the biggest hitters from all four events. Let's start things off with PlayStation's State of Play. It opens with official gameplay of Marvel's Wolverine, and it looks sick. I love that there's so much gore with Logan slicing up enemies in a brutal way. I have played all the Insomniac Spider-Man games, so I'm excited to see them tackle a different superhero this time around. Marvel Dokkan announces more characters coming to the game with Magneto, Green Goblin, and Carnage. They also announced Rayman Legends Retold, Silent Hill Townfall, Until Dawn 2, and ending with a 20-minute gameplay overview of God of War Lao Fei. I think this is the weakest show. There were some great announcements, but some of them were games that we already know about or some I did not care about. Even more so since the other showcases had better game reveals. It wasn't bad, but it was definitely overshadowed. At least Stuntman Hollywood looks fun. Next up is good old Jeff Keighley and his event that killed E3, Summer Games Fest. It was a joke, don't take it seriously. It kicks things off with Capcom showing their future release, Resident Evil Veronica. I don't know much about this series except for Leon Kennedy, and apparently Veronica is Chris Redfield's sister. Looks cool though. Another horror game revealed, and I had this thought of Alien Isolation based on how the trailer looked here. Turns out it's the sequel to said game. Never played the first one, I don't know how the fuck I did that. We get a release date for Stranger Than Heaven, and that Tupac will be in the game. Interesting. We also got Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, Virtua Fighter Crossroads, Stellar Blade Blood Rain, and The Wolf Among Us 2 with the first game being remastered. The show ends with the reveal of the final installment in the remake trilogy, Final Fantasy VII Revelation. They really emphasize that this will be the last game to wrap up this story. This is looking to be the biggest game in the trilogy. I still need to finish the first game. This showcase was really solid. I must point out that during the show, the sound and display weren't synced in some parts. I watched this on YouTube, so I don't know if it was happening on other platforms. However, there was a good variety of games shown and had a great timeline overall. Definitely better than the Game Awards 2025, ending with the live service game that got shut down 1 month after its release. At least it lasted longer than Concord. Time to move on to the Xbox Games Showcase. This one had a lot going for it. Xbox hasn't been doing great for the past few years. Studio shutdowns, weird marketing campaigns. It felt like it was losing its identity. It needs to go back to its roots back in the early 2000s with the old logo, the green aesthetic, and bringing back the brand to its former glory. I'm not so sure since the new CEO was working on AI development for Microsoft, but let's see if they can keep their word. It starts with official gameplay for Gears of War E-Day. Looks pretty cool, nothing much to say. What I will say is that this will be an Xbox console exclusive. I'm all for having a game available on all platforms, but having exclusives can have more competition and better reason to get a certain console. I'm glad to see them doing it again. They also show Halo Campaign Evolved, Doom the Dark Age Revelations, and Castlevania Belmont's Curse. One that really surprised me was Spyro returning in an all-new adventure titled Spyro: A Realm Beyond. They end the show talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, and yeah, I think that's everything.
You ever heard of the Midnight Channel?
How can I not talk about this? We finally got our first look at the P4 remake titled Persona 4 Revival. That one trailer before does not count. Right off the bat, the in-game models look so good. I think this is the best looking Persona game to date, more so than Persona 3 Reload. I will say, the portraits kind of look weird to me. I don't think that the art style is what I would go for, but maybe they'll grow on to me once I play it. There is a scene of the protag and Yosuke singing karaoke, which is new. Wonder how it'll help with the combat, which looks rad as f***. Baton passes back, the selection has a TV dial, and the whole battle setting is on a TV set. Once the bar on the lower right is full, you'll be entered into prime time. This seems like every party member gets a turn with one of them do a series finale attack, which is comparable to Theurgy's in P3R. It ends with the release date of February 18th, 2027. I gotta wait 8 months for this? No! This might be crazy to say, but I think Xbox had the best showcase. Maybe I'm biased because Persona was shown, but they had so much variety than the other showcases. Like watching the other ones, there were a lot more Souls-like and action games shown. With Xbox, they had shooters, platformers, JRPGs, and more. They are looking good for next year. Let's hope they'll keep that momentum. This was the last showcase to wrap up the announcements, but Nintendo posted that a Direct will be shown the next day. Could you at least give us a better warning next time? The direct starts with Rhythm Heaven Groove. I have never played Rhythm Heaven, but this looks really fun. I do like how they incorporated it in RPG mode and multiplayer, so I might give this one a shot. Then it shows more info regarding the next Fire Emblem game in Fortune's Weave. There are a bunch of games shown, but some of them we already know from the other showcases, DLC like Pokopia, and existing Switch 1 games getting Switch 2 editions. However, all 3 mainline Xenoblade games are getting those Switch 2 editions, while also announcing a new entry titled Xenoblade Genesis. This I can get behind, and they did it again as Kingdom Hearts is getting Switch 2 editions for all of their mainline games, while showing more stuff coming to Kingdom Hearts 4. They show off the new Star Fox, which already got a direct some time ago, Splatoon Raiders, and Deltarune Chapter 5. The direct ends with the announcement of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake in 2026. The number of ports and DLCs dock a few points for me, but it made up for it with release dates of future games and some good surprises. If I had to rank each showcase from bottom to top, I would go State of Play, Nintendo Direct, Summer Games Fest, and Xbox Showcase. However, I must share the negative side of all this. We've seen so many layoffs and studio shutdowns that it's unfortunate that their games will never see the light of day. What's worse is AI is taking over the gaming space, with generative AI being used for games such as Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis and Crazy Taxi World Tour. I was excited about those games, but hearing that they used AI left a bad taste in my mouth. My stance is that AI should be used to help people, not replace people. They have stated that it was used as a reference piece to make these games. At least it helped people, but who's to say it'll replace them in the future? I don't think it should have been used at all, especially in a place where it's ruining creativity for so many lives. I don't like that one bit. Another important note is that we didn't get anything Mario related from Nintendo. It's Mario's 40th anniversary, and while we got the Mario Galaxy movie, the only thing associated with it was the DK Challenge. Not gonna lie, this made me scratch my head in confusion. Yeah, DK has been a part of the Mario brand, but there was no new game. As for Sonic, Sega did announce that Year 2 DLC with Godzilla and Evangelion is coming to Crossworlds and the new Sonic Pico Park, but that's it. Granted, the actual day of the 35th anniversary is coming up, so maybe we'll get a Sonic Central. Who knows? I needed to point these out since people made a big stink on the internet, which... Are you being f***ing serious? We have loads of games coming out in 2026 and 2027. If you're sad about no new Mario or Sonic, play more games. You might find a new favorite series. I think this is the best overall showcase we've had in a while, and I cannot wait to see what the gaming world has to offer.
Although, wasn't there one game announcement I was super stoked about? I'm trying to remember what it was. I mean, there's Spyro, the Ocarina of Time remake, the new God of War game, FF7 Revelations, but I just can't think of what that game was.